Hi, this is Chanel. Hope you're doing well. The title for this video will be Get Off the Couch and On the Bench. Okay, so I will be discussing the importance of being coached rather than having someone just listen, okay, during problems, okay. And so overall, when times are, or when we experience trauma, or we all, life happens for all of us, okay. We all experience ups and downs and disappointments and just life, okay. Life isn't perfect for anyone. However, I think that it's important that we not get in the habit of or develop the habit of focusing on the problem, okay, and continuously talking about the problem. In 2020, and I know a lot of things happened, okay, there were a lot of illnesses that people did not overcome. A lot went on in 2020, okay. It's now 2026. I'm recording this in 2026, so years have definitely passed since then. And in 2020, there was a rise of advertisement for therapy, okay. Also during that time, the use of technology began to, it definitely increased significantly, okay. But it was suggested a lot in media that you seek help for or seek therapeutic help, okay. Now, obviously, like I said, it's now 2026. That occurred in 2020. Time has definitely passed, and we've surpassed. We've gotten through that season. However, like I said, the title for this is Get Off the Couch and Get on the Bench. All right, and the purpose for this, or for this topic is, like I said, I want people to understand that, like I said, it is important that we almost.
We're not ready.
Not yet. It's important that we. This is my son talking to me. So this is. It's important that we don't just sit and continuously talk about problems, but find a solution, okay? And coaches will help you find a solution in certain environments and in certain circles and rooms. I think that solutions are not addressed enough, okay. There's a problem. Let's talk about the couch, okay. I've never been to therapy. There are a lot of people who talk about going to therapy, and I'm not telling anyone not to. However, I think that the proper way of doing it is to obviously address the issue. Address the issues, whatever the issues are. First, there needs to be an observation, okay? of both good and bad, and or whatever whatever the issue is, address it. And the goal should be to come to a conclusion. Okay, there's a problem. How do we fix it? How do we not revisit that problem? Okay, in the future. Okay. However, I have seen situations in different rooms where people continuously revisit the problem. Okay, and when you focus on the problem rather than focusing on a solution, and I mean, when I say solution, I don't mean medication or continuously going to therapy or just revisiting the problem. The suggestion that I have would be similar. I'll say this. So years ago, one day I think I was supposed to go to work on this day. I know I was supposed to go to work, and I woke up in the middle of the night and was in excruciating pain, and I could not even walk. I didn't go to work, and I would never call. I never called off. Okay, I couldn't even walk. I crawled. When I had to go to the bathroom, I would crawl to the bathroom. I was in so much pain. I was crying. I'm not a crier, okay, but I was in so much pain that I was crying and crawling. Okay. I think I may have done that for a day. The next day, I drove myself to the hospital, and a doctor told me in ER that I needed to have surgery. Okay. And I said, I was in so much pain. I was like, if I can do it today, if you can do the surgery today, do it today. Now, I wasn't able to get it done that day. I think probably 2 days later, I got it scheduled immediately, and within that next week, early that next week, I was, I had the procedure done so therapy should be the same way. When there is a problem, again, back to, when I was in pain, I didn't say, oh, well, just, give me some medication for the pain. I don't want to continuously take medication for the pain. Fix it. Okay? And that is the same way that we should address problems. If there is a problem, we should try to fix it. Okay? Not continuously talk about it. Not put a band-aid on it, or pop some medication. And if there is a problem, the problem needs to be fixed. Okay? And who can help you fix a problem? Just like the doctor. I didn't sit around and talk about, oh, I'm in so much pain. I went to somebody who could. I went to a hospital. Okay? And wanted to see a doctor. And thankfully they called a doctor in who could help. Okay? And the doctor came up with the solution. And I said, let's get this done ASAP. Okay? And I don't ever want to revisit that again. And that's the same way that we should address problems. Okay? If there is a problem, we should want to fix it ASAP. And not continuously revisit it, okay? Not continuously talk about it. Not go through the same thing over and over again, okay? And again, we need a coach, okay? So instead of, like I said, laying back on a couch and every week or every month or however, every 2 weeks, however often, sitting on a couch and consistently talking about problems over and over and over again over a long period of time, get a coach, and the coach will tell you, okay, this is what I see, this is what needs to change. And here's another thing. One thing about a coach is going to tell you about you. Okay, now a coach, if you think about any kind of court or field, okay, the coach can see everything from the sideline. The coach is gonna mainly address you. If you get yourself, let's say, a life coach, a coach is gonna address the problems you need to work on. Okay, they're not gonna just sit back and listen to you. They're not gonna say, "Oh well, pat you on the back and give you some medication." Okay, or tell you to go. A coach is gonna tell you, "Okay, this is how we're gonna fix that problem. This is a problem. Let's fix the problem." Okay, a coach is stern. A coach is direct. Okay, a coach is they want quick results. Okay, and they are there to help guide you. Okay, and so in life, that is what we need. We need coaches. We need people who are gonna be on the sideline and tell us what we need to do for us. Okay, not sit back and pacify. And not to say, things happen, and we, and I myself have experienced times when sometimes, life just gives us a blow, and we need, you may need to take, you may need to get off the bench for a second, okay, for a little bit. However, overall, the goal needs to be to get back on the bench and get back on the court and get back to it. Okay, and so like I said, I just wanted to encourage you to get to it. Okay, and don't be in the habit of looking for and focusing on problems. Okay, if there's a problem, get it fixed ASAP, or find someone who can help you fix that problem ASAP. And like I said, just and you want to get to a point to where you're not revisiting the same problem. Okay, you want to fix it and live your best life. Okay, and I don't have the book right here beside me, but one thing that I did years ago. So one, I used to, I would listen to podcasts of, like I love listening to wise people. Okay, and so Oprah would have Maya Angelou on and Ian Levinson, and so she years ago she wrote a book called Get Over It. Okay, and as soon as that book came out, I was so excited to read it. Okay, I went and purchased the book, and what it is it's a self-help book that has you just basically self-analyze, and I think that it's good to be able to go within yourself and do the digging yourself. Don't always go outside of yourself, and with certain problems, you want to have the ability to self-analyze and fix problems yourself. But anyway, like I said, with that book, it had you self-analyze in multiple areas, many areas, and it was so helpful. And I think it had you journal. Okay, I had to create a journal, and just think about things and figure things out. Have some quiet time. Don't have some, whether it be at night, right before you go to bed, have some time to yourself and self-analyze. Okay, think about your life and have the ability to do both. Have the ability to again go within and figure things out, and also go to someone who has a coach. Find a coach, okay, who's going to help you get the things that you need to get where you're going, okay, in life. Okay, so like I said I just wanted to make a quick video, and like I said, get off the couch and get on a bench, okay? And otherwise, don't complain about your problems. Don't sit around and find listening ears who's gonna pacify you and listen to you whine, okay? If you have a problem, you need to learn how to fix your problems. As an adult, you need to learn how to what's the word? Point them out. Okay, that's not the word I was. That's a phrase. That's not the word that I was going for. But be able to, point out your own problems. Have the ability to work through them yourself. Okay, but like I said, also, find someone who's wise, who can help you get through it. Okay, and not sit and sulk and complain. Okay, so again, get off the couch, get on a bench, and get back on the court, okay, or the field, whichever one it is, of life. All right, so I hope this was helpful. I hope you have a wonderful day. Feel free to like and comment, and thank you for watching. Bye.